Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fantastic Ask an Engineer. We're broadcasting. What's wrong with you?
I was going to say hi. And
hi.
I paused.
That's cool. Colin's making faces. We're broadcasting live from downtown Manhattan in the Adafruit headquarters. We got Colin Cunningham. We've got Phil, as usual. We're going to rock it out. We got all sorts of fun stuff. We're broadcasting to multiple locations. Wow, it's so exciting. Tell them what's on tonight's show, Phil.
On tonight's show, we're going to give discounts on things. The code is going to be NeoPixel.
Nice.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the show and tell. Some awesome projects came in. Open source hardware, lots of people are using it. We're going to talk about the world of maker business and some new things. Jobs and job boards. We're going to visit Packet, the Mailbag. We got some news about distributors and hacker spaces. We got some stuff from the Adafruit Learning System. We've got Wearable Wednesday, featuring the Summer of Solar. 3D Thursday. Pi Day. We're going to talk about a Pi miner again. We got new products. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to have a trivia question. All that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Woot.
All right. We're here.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so we are broadcasting live to Ustream and also to YouTube once again. A little tricky each time. Learn something new. Turns out it takes 3 times to log in. Well,
right.
We learn.
Third
We're
time's the charm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting better at this, though. We only had Wirecast crash twice.
Yeah, and the other cool thing is upgrade in sound and lighting here.
Yes.
So we're all looking a little
And
better.
upgrading Colin.
Hey. Oh, am I? I didn't check.
You're taller.
Good to know. Oh, sweet. Thanks.
All right, let's pay some bills. So tonight's code is NeoPixel. Look at that beautiful photo. NeoPixel is a code tonight. We're going to be talking about a new product, the NeoPixel Shield. But that's code 10% off everything in stock in the Adafruit store.
Yes, not just NeoPixels.
Yeah.
Everything. If it's in stock.
If it's in stock?
You get it.
off.
10% off.
Okay.
Things that go great with NeoPixels.
First up, we just came off an awesome show and tell. Lady Ada, what was on the show and tell?
The show and tell was glorious, and everybody had working audio. Lance showed up. He had a cool Flexboard Arduino module thing.
Yeah.
He's going to put accelerometers on people's heads. They're going to move their heads. It's going to make HID keyboards click, mouses move. Mm-hmm. It's going to be cool accessibility stuff, so that's neat.
Yeah, he was
Lance.
moving on forward.
John W. came back. More watch project feedback. He's working on this watch. He's got to get the battery power. How much battery does it need? Who knows? He's going to figure that out.
Sounds like engineering.
He's engineering, and he took apart a camera, and he took out the IR filter, which is always fun. You just have to get there with the tweezers and pull it out, and he can, like, spy. Mike showed up. He is learning electronics. He built a solar-powered Pi Wi-Fi controller, one of our, like, Pi-Fi projects that we did, that Phil B. Did excellent work with 2 months ago, and so Mike built one as Pandora player for Pi. It is solar powered. He also has a beepy buzzery thing he's working on. That's cool. Robert came in. He likes to work with the LPC Espresso and XP boards, which we have in the store and are 10% off, by the way, in case you want one. They're a really good deal. You can check out the LPC 1769 or 1343 or 1347. They come in these lovely, awesome little boards, which are lovely and a really good deal, except they're really big. And so we made like a breakout breadboard controller thingy for them. It looks actually really handy. He's working with K-Town on that, I guess, or consulting with him, and he'll put it up on GitHub soon, and people can make it. That's it. I showed my mini POV.
Yeah, well, maybe
Which doesn't work yet.
Maybe, and it's not out yet, don't ask, maybe we'll show it off. But Lady Ada, during the show and tell, showed the mini POV 4, the RGB mini POV.
Well, it's like
USB.
super beta.
Super beta.
We have to figure out what what LEDs to use. These LEDs, other LEDs, who knows?
Yeah.
That's
Good
tough.
change.
Yeah.
Could change.
Well, you know, one quick thing though, the before we move on, you know, the technology has changed quite a bit. Mini POV has gone from parallel port to serial port.
Yeah.
Now to USB.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we have to upgrade because people don't have USB ports. Sorry, they don't have parallel ports or serial ports.
Yeah.
They don't have USB ports, so like I was thinking maybe we'd upgrade this.
Yeah. Okay, Lady Ada, how does someone get on the show and tell?
Getting on the show and tell is really easy. Go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit. Find the post where we're like, hey, comment here and we'll add you to the circle. Comment there with your account. We'll add you to the circle, and then you'll be invited every single week, a Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can drink from your mug. You can show off your project, electronics,
very
wearables, software. You can come multiple times and you get stickers.
Yeah. I like the folks who come in and show a project in progress.
I like that too. Like we've seen a couple revisions of like this watch. We've
Yeah.
seen a couple revisions of like that robot. We've seen a couple revisions of like I don't even know, like a lot of
Good
stuff.
motivator when you're working on a product to be able to go on the show and tell.
Yeah, and I like
It
that.
gives you your own deadline. Like, we're going to dive into some news, some stuff going on. So this is the cover of Successful Farming magazine, Drones.
I subscribe. I'm
Yeah.
a subscriber.
So look overhead for the latest tool in precision agriculture, drones.
Drones. That's
so we're interested in drones. Colin, have you got any experience with the fully assembled ones or the kits?
Not so much in the drones when I first think of drone with kits, and that's what I first think
or
of. But really,
educational mini UAVs.
then I go, oh wait, no, I did. I remember this past Christmas I gave my dad one of the Parrot AR drones, the commercial
Yeah.
toy, if you will, but. And yeah, that is a drone. It does count. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really fun. The version 2.0.
Yeah, we've been thinking about what line of drones, educational mini
that's right.
UAVs that we're going to stock. We actually got pricing for the Parrots, and we're about to do it. And we thought, because they're not cheap. I mean, when they were like whatever ones.
And like the reseller pricing is like 10% off.
Yeah, and
it's like really.
Yeah, we were thinking
not a
about
lot of
it.
margin.
And one of the things that made us decide not to is this is when they were still maybe working out some of the bugs with it.
Early.
People would get them and they're like, I bought this thing, it was $500. I went outside, I launched it, and it just went away, and I never saw it again.
Which is kind of hilarious. It's like I'm going to go back home. You know?
It's like bring your
flies home.
bring your
And
puppy
the
home.
comment,
and
the
it just
review
runs
was the fastest
away.
I've ever lost $500, and it's just like,
Aw.
and there it goes. So we're
Yeah.
not quite sure.
Maybe they were running home. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll land one day, but we're not.
That
quite
is,
sure.
that is kind of fun.
I just hop in the car and just try to chase
Goodbye.
that
No,
down.
it's gone.
I guess
goes
it wants
into
to
the sky.
return home. So this is interesting because
You love it,
drones
so.
are becoming mainstream, and agriculture is a really neat use for them.
Yeah. Journalism.
Journalism, really neat use for them.
Research.
And, research. And also, of course, any type of aerial photography.
Environmental work. People who like not in farming,
Yeah.
but like they want to plot a land and see like how the land has changed or how rivers
Okay.
have moved.
Yeah.
That's really a good use.
So
Yeah.
for aerial, surveillance in that sense.
Yeah,
That's what it's used for in farming.
Surveyors.
Mainly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
checking.
and I posted this up on the Adafruit blog. I said, wow, what would be really neat if like John Deere bought 3D Robotics, Chris Anderson's company, because
Yeah.
like they already have real, like you think John Deere and tractors actually like it's GPS control.
No,
yeah,
they do
yeah.
everything.
They're
They do,
hardcore. They're like
yeah.
$1 billion company, and they're just like they really make.
I could totally see that. them-
Yeah.
Drones would be
them
so
having
handy.
their
I mean,
own-
like how are you
And it'd
gonna?
be green, like it'd be
Yeah,
cool.
of course. They're gonna be
Yeah, with
green
the yellow
yeah.
and the deer.
Yeah.
All right.
So I throw these predictions out. I don't have time to write on Make as much. I used to do like news from the future posts.
Still
so,
counts.
Yeah. So now when I get a chance, I put these up on Adafruit, and I'm like, oh, like here's successful farming drones. News from the future. 3D Robotics gets acquired by John Deere because last week was the acquisition of or merger of MakerBot with
Yeah.
Stratasys. So
Yeah.
stranger things have happened.
I believe it.
There are John Deere bicycles.
There are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bike through the fields.
I don't know what they're for, but they did make bicycles.
Next up, Element 14 released a really great report on how open source hardware is being used. So just some quick stats real quick. They did a survey. Tons of people responded. And the question was, in 2013, are you more likely to use open source hardware for your designs? Colin, you've done hardware projects. Why open source hardware versus something else? Closed source.
Because I can change it if I want to. Because I have access to. Is this a trick question?
No, it's not.
It's like
No.
No, some people that are
wanna
watching,
know.
some people
Okay.
who are watching, they don't even know what
because
open source
instead
hardware
of
is.
me using your sealed magic box of a product, I can actually go, oh, this is great, but just one thing, and then reach inside and move a couple of gears around and make it work differently, and then someone else might appreciate that change and morph the functionality, and I could pass it on to them.
Yeah.
It's it's the way to go.
Yeah, I also think that when you have something that's closed, there isn't a community necessarily that is helpful. If you start messing around with code and hardware and things, there's other people that have said, oh yeah, I know that's a problem, and here's the fix for it, and they're willing to share it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more
community.
to it than my simple response right there, but
And you also you don't have to
Yeah,
design the
it-
whole thing. You can just take something that is pretty close. Like the Pie Man we'll talk about, you took code that existed and you just modified
Absolutely,
it and made it your own.
It makes so many things possible. I know that that project, would have taken me like at least another maybe a week or something to really get it.
And that's a week you could have spent mining Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, right. And
Then what?
Don't get me started.
I know.
Okay. Moving right along, some big news in maker business world. Highway 1 just opened. It is a incubator of sorts. It's PCH International's hardware incubator in San Francisco. Brady Forrest was here, past friend, current friend, future friend of ours who was part of O'Reilly, and then now part of PCH International. And they have this like hardware incubator. So let's say if you have a successful Kickstarter and you're like, great, I got $1 million. How do I go to manufacturing? What's next? Or you just have a product idea.
Yeah, because just the money doesn't make it
What
actually happen.
does PCH actually stand for?
I don't think it's the Pacific Coast Highway, but
Well, that's why they named it Highway 1, but I'm like, that's not that's just coincidence.
but there's also AQS, which is
all quality services. That I know.
And then there's also Dragon. And these
There's
are all
dragons.
And these are all companies that it seems to me that
Fire.
are starting to form to service this Maker Pro market.
Yeah.
Which is, I have a product, it's in prototype phase, I just need to get to manufacturing, and they're kind of the liaisons, it seems, from your one-off to maybe 1,000 or
Yeah, it's
like
a big
Kickstarter
gap
for
there.
filming almost.
Yeah.
Like Pebble had to go and do stuff. So we'll see. Hardware is hard.
Yeah, hardware's hard.
And what I see from talking to people, and because I'm very interested in this, is there's a lot of single product Maker Pro companies, and not as many companies that want to sell like 1,500 stuff, 1,500 things, going after the DigiKeys or the Mausers or the smartphones or the Adafruits. They're focusing on a single product.
Yeah, like I release like one product a week. Now it's not a huge, glossy packaged good, but they are products on their own.
Yeah.
And they all take engineering, and then like we can build on them to make more complicated projects. But yeah, it's a lot of work to do a single product and
Seems
have
like
it.
There's a property of momentum to
Yeah.
that, really.
Yeah.
And then of course after you finished it, you have to deal with competitors like Pebble had the Pebble Watch.
And now there's like 4.
And now there's like 10 smartwatches easily,
Yeah.
and like Pebble's like they just basically finished releasing the first version. Now they have to work on the second version already.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they have been, but it's like it
Yeah.
never ends.
And
It's
as people who make products, when you work on something, as soon as you release it, you hate it, and you can't wait to get the one that you've
Yeah.
been working on.
Right. Yeah. That's a personal issue.
set it on fire.
Okay. Next up in the world of maker business, Adafruit Jobs board on fire. One of the best places online if you're a company to post looking for talent. So Shapeways, like Titan in the 3D printing world of this the big maker movement.
This is where they go.
They post their job openings
Yeah.
up on the Adafruit Jobs board.
That's cool.
And then makers that are looking to find cool companies are posting their skill sets. So it's all free. We moderate each one, so there's no weird headhunters or anything odd or anything like that. So check it out. Shapeways has a job position for a
Software engineering.
software engineer.
Okay.
All right. Next, have you ever tried the 3D printing service, Shapeways, by the way?
Not. I almost. Me and my wife actually almost used it like a couple weeks ago. We're probably. I'm going to soon. I guess is the plan.
Yeah.
We've been having other things made with like Pinocchio.
I've got a cool project coming up where we're going to use the nylon printing service, which is more flexible. It's going to be cool. I'll tell you about
To
that
make
later.
like wearables and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. Packet the mailbag. Look at Packet.
Hey, packet, mailbag, got mail.
All right. We have to. That wasn't us.
Before we get arrested
That was a pre-recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weirdness.
All right. This is the mailbag. I'm really happy with the quality of your parts, and I'm glad to see you're adding new products all the time. How many new products this week, Lady Ada?
I try to add at least 5 and up to 10 products.
Whew.
This week was 8, I think.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So that's 1 a day. And
Read
like
it.
on the weekends, I actually usually don't work on projects. So it's actually like twice.
Read about the About page
Okay.
for the first time. Boy, Ms. Fried, you must be busy testing all that new stuff out. Thanks
I
again
am.
for providing top quality components.
That's all I did this week.
All right, next up, just a quick update on the Adafruit blog. Every single day we're highlighting hackerspaces and distributors. If you're a hackerspace or if you want to be a reseller, follow the contact
How many
form.
distributors do we have?
It's a lot. I think it's popped over 1,000.
How many hackerspaces?
It's in the hundreds. It'll-
Okay.
yeah.
Abilities to locate them.
Okay, so check it out. We feature a hackerspace a distributor every single day, and it's been working out fantastic. We made it so you can just buy one of something if there's margins, and you get 30% off, so you can just try it in your store. And then if you get more, then you get up to 40% for quantity. So people are growing their business. They're like, oh, let's try like one of everything. And those are pretty good margins. And then they're coming back and they're like, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah, save on shipping, get more staff.
Yeah.
And there's free shipping in the U.S.
Yeah, and hackerspaces are treated like resellers, so they're able to
That's
build businesses and workshops using Adafruit kits. And they use our curriculum on the learning system. Speaking of.
segue.
Yeah.
Next up.
All right. Lady Ada,
ALS.
I want you to go through these as fast as you can
Oh.
because we got a lot of stuff to do.
Do I have to go
tonight.
as fast as I can?
Well,
Okay.
go kind of fast.
All
What's going on
right,
here?
we put up a bunch of quick tutorials on stuff this week. There's 4 new tutorials. This one is for the GA1A S202WP, which is a really long name for the Sharp Analog Light Sensor. It's a digital light. It's an analog output light sensor that's log scale, so it works well both in extreme bright light and extremely dark areas. It's like it linearizes logarithmic, so it acts kind of like our eyes do. So it's a really lovely little sensor. It's teeny. We have some example code. It's actually easy to use, but we still put together a little tutorial for it.
Okay. Oh, you mentioned the Pebble Watch before. We have a tutorial on this fantastic.
This is the display that is. This is not exactly the same display as in the Pebble Watch. The Pebble Watch actually has the one with slightly higher resolution, but this one you can use with an Arduino because it has enough RAM to buffer it. These are lovely little Sharp memory displays. We have the breakout. We have a library. You can do graphics, text, whatever with it. It's really easy to use. It's really beautiful, and it's extremely low power. So we have a little tutorial for that as well.
Okay. And
Gotta try that.
next up, some things in the world of BeagleBone.
BeagleBone.
These are more Adafruit
Becky
learning.
hands.
Yeah, Adafruit learning system stuff. So what's this?
This is we because we did such an excellent new BeagleBone IO library. Tyler and Justin Cooper rocked it out. They've basically ported the Raspberry Pi GPIO Python library to the to the BeagleBone with the newest kernel 3.8, which uses this crazy device to overlay stuff I don't even understand myself, but it's weird, it's cool, it's new. You can do compiler stuff with it, and we have started to push out some tutorials for using the BBIO library, which is what it's called, with some sensors. For example, this tutorial.
I think this is this one, right? The IO.
Yeah, sorry, this is out of order. Okay, sorry. This is an example of using the TMP, an example of using the TMP installing operating system. We updated this to show how to use Ubuntu. A lot of people are like, I don't like, I actually want to use Ubuntu. We show how to use, install Ubuntu. You need an SD card, I believe, and you put it in and you press the reset button. It's not that bad. Okay. And then we also did a tutorial on the ADC stuff that we added to the BeagleBone IO library. This is just like how you use it, which pins are analog pins, and also a little diagram of a resistor divider. If you're used to stuff like the Arduino or other ARM chips that have a 3-volt analog input, you just need to know that the BeagleBone has 1.8 volt max. So use 2 10K resistors to divide 3.3 volt down by half, and that will work out fine.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything is fine with just using a resistor divider.
I think we're cracking the getting hardware to work with BeagleBone. It's hard. I mean,
It's still going because it's not like the Raspberry Pi where there was like 100,000 other people doing the
Yeah.
same thing. With this, it's like
It's
actually
like-
nobody
it's
else is writing tutorials.
It's like
we
it's
are
just
the only
us
ones.
right now.
It's
So
us
if you're an
just.
expert in this and you want to do some work, the BeagleBone Black platform will only go as fast as tutorials come out for it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we're doing a lot, and we think it's worth it.
Does porting the GPIO library sort of like pave the way for other things that
It means that all of
projects?
it means that like for example our I2C library is almost done ported, which
That's
means
what
that
I'm
all of our
thinking
code for Raspberry Pi should just drop in compile.
That's fantastic.
I mean,
That'd
not
be really
dropping.
good.
You'll have to change the pin numbers, but the code in general should perform the same. So, for example, like our LCD plate would just work.
And that's
Yeah.
the big deal. If the,
Hopefully,
if the,
I mean,
the
it's
interface
never-
remains the same.
Yeah.
It's never exact,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it'll be very close.
Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Good news.
And then next up, Wearable Wednesday. Every Wednesday on the Adafruit site, we have, I think, the best collection of wearable electronics and wearable
Yes.
stuff online. Headed up by Becky Stern, Director of Wearable Electronics. We have a thing going on with Element 14, the Get Closer Wearables Challenge. Look on the site. There's a Google Hangout coming up soon. There's a contest. There's all sorts of things. This is us and Element 14 getting together, making cool
Getting
stuff.
wearable.
Getting wearable. Next up, Summer of Solar. Summer of Solar. Yeah. I could, I have a little mixer board now. I could have did the echo.
You
but-
could have.
Oh, yeah.
Restraint is
I
a
know- I
beautiful
know.
thing.
All
Okay.
these buttons. Okay. So
Just wait.
we have this great solar charger, and Lady Ada, maybe you can say, why is this solar charger that you spent like 3 years on so good? Besides,
It's handcrafted. Well, I've
love in
revised it a couple times, but it's actually done now, I think, forever. So this charger is specifically designed to charge light poly batteries of any size, or lithium-ion batteries of any size from a solar panel that's a 5.5 or 6 volt. 6 volt solar panel is actually quite common. And the nice thing about this is the majority of solar chargers that you find on the market are total bullshit. They don't work.
Yeah.
And they actually kind of know that they don't work, but because people aren't going to sit there with an oscilloscope and actually look at the current waveforms, nobody knows that they don't quite work. And so I was really frustrated with all these solar chargers that purport to work, but they don't, because they're not tuned and they don't use current tracking, because solar panels, you need to current track them in order to get power out of them. Otherwise, the current voltage collapses quite easily. They're very much unlike any kind of other power source. And so this is designed to track the voltage and current capabilities of a solar panel to maximize the output, but it doesn't use a max power point tracker. It does something much simpler that's just as effective and a lot less expensive. So we can have the solar charger that's you can use with any panel, any size panel, wide, height, with any size light poly battery of any capacity, and you can just mix and match them to make the charger you need.
So is the problem that the panel's unknown size, and it's also a really shady power supply, because it clouds and the sun changes.
It bounces around, and so a lot of these cheap chargers, it's because they seem like they're working, but they're actually they're not working at very good capacity. They're either not drawing enough current, or they're turning on and off really fast, but you can't tell. So you need to have something that's has a feedback loop and self-stabilizes, and I don't think almost any of them have that. A lot of them, I think, are just you get it close enough, and then whatever, just tell the customer they have to put it in the sun for longer. A lot of them don't work that well.
Yeah. Okay.
It takes a little bit of engineering to actually make that feedback loop stable.
Okay.
Make that feedback loop stable.
It's practical enough for every day and really handy for camping or trips to the beach. Use Adafruit's solar live poly charger to charge up this beefy battery, and then hook up the output to the Minty Boost, our popular pocket gadget charger. When you're out in the sun, or as long as your bag is, the battery's charging up. You can simultaneously charge your phone when the sun is bright, and the battery will keep supplying juice long after the sun goes down. Assemble your kits with flatness in mind. Bend all your tall components over before soldering. Pack everything carefully into an Altoids tin after making cutouts for the plugs with tin snips. Replace the plug on the solar panel with a 2.1mm barrel jack. I just cut the alligator clips off of this adapter. Save me for another project! Velcro tape comes in handy for affixing the solar panel to any handbag or backpack, and that means you can put it away when you're not using it. And in the Adafruit store, we have waterproof solar panels available in a few different sizes. As long as the sun shines, I can charge my phone or my mobile hotspot, and even use some of that energy to cool off a little. And don't forget that it's the summer of solar. We can't wait to see your projects in our weekly show and tell on Google+. And subscribe to the Adafruit YouTube channel for a new wearable electronics project every Wednesday.
All right. Okay, we got the bag here.
And here's this fan.
Yeah.
So this is the bag, and so you can customize it for any of your favorite bags if you have a laptop bag or bike bag. So this is kind of cool because you don't have to. There are solar bags you can buy from Voltaic, for example, and they're really great quality. But sometimes you're like, well, I have my own bag or my own purse that I want to modify. So you can grab any size panel, and some of them you can use Velcro, or you can use the mounting posts that come with it. And then you just need a little pocket inside, and you can stash. I'm not sure exactly where she put it, but you can stash the Minty Boost.
Yeah, probably one of those.
It's in the outer pocket. So you can stash your Minty Boost pack in here. And the cool thing is, again, you can choose what size panel do you want. You can actually connect multiple panels as well. How big of a battery do you want? And then you can always charge it also via USB. So if you're ever like, well, I want to recharge it because it's cloudy today and I still want to have this as a battery pack. Supplemental power, and then you have this handy USB. So this is really cool because you can customize your own bag. We actually want to do this for my my bike bags when we're out biking.
Yeah.
Because I have a little like front bag, and I can put it in front, and it can charge our GPS or our phone.
Yeah.
So while we're, because we want to like do GPS tracking, but like we don't want to run out of power. So that way we can power our GPS charger. That's pretty
Makes
cool.
sense. On the go. The biggest important thing, whenever I've messed around with solar, is make sure you have a sturdy panel. 'Cause
Yeah, these are really
I've broken
sturdy.
so many.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No, all the ones.
Yeah.
All the ones
These
we
are
have
different.
are when you
Yes, these are
sometimes when you
great.
buy them they're not mounted. The voltaic ones that we have
They're all
are
resin or
they're resin coated and they're on a aluminum foam core back, not foam core, like a plastic core, which is very light, and then aluminum film on the back, also to give it a little more sturdiness. And we also have ones that are on the backs of PCBs with also epoxy,
Right.
also extremely sturdy. You really have to like crush them to really
this,
destroy these.
This isn't going anywhere.
Okay.
All right.
Next up.
Make your projects. Submit them to the
3D
website.
Thursday. Lots of stuff in the 3D printing world. I'm just going to go over something really fast. Someone with a Google Glass took photos of a statue while they were out with their Google Glass, and then they were able to 3D print it. So that's an unexpected use, I think. And they were at the museum, and they had Google Glass, and they said, "Okay, glass, okay, glass, okay, glass, okay, glass," about 50 times, and then they got
Okay,
that
glass.
yeah, and so that's kind of neat. Next up, this is also really big news. Microsoft has printer drivers in Windows 8.1 for 3D printers.
Yeah, it's neat.
That's a big deal.
That's cool.
That's a really big deal because
8.1.
Yeah, 8.1.
Yeah.
It signals like, okay, 3D printing is a big deal.
Yes, we will accommodate. It
Yeah.
exists.
And they're going to support MakerBot.
places.
MakerBot's in there. I think they're working with other folks. It's kind of like when PDFs became like a default thing that you print to. It's like,
Right.
oh, that's a big deal. Now it's going to be
Yeah.
3D printing. You'll
It's
be able to
arrived,
send to
it's a
printer,
signal.
send to cloud, send to
Yeah.
Shapeways maybe.
I want
Yeah.
to see their logo, inside control panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Device
So
properties.
one thing I'm going to try to revisit an article I did on Make. So when Windows was coming out, I wrote the Soapbox article. Please make Windows 8 maker friendly. And there's this thing called CDC Drivers, and Lady Ada, you can help me out with this a little bit. But basically,
the CDC drivers are the serial drivers that are used by like the Arduino, basically.
yeah. And so if Windows were to bake those in as well, the microcontroller hobbyist market would completely take off even
Yeah,
more.
you wouldn't have to deal with the bullshit of Signs, but it's just installing. still a total pain in the ass. HID drivers are built in, and the thing is the CDC drivers are half built in.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
need an INF file. So they have the driver file, they just don't have this INF file. And it's like, well, why don't you just
Yeah.
have something? And it doesn't make
so
much sense.
I have a lead on who maybe to talk to, and I'm going to try to get that in, because if they're going to do 3D printing, the next thing is like, you guys are so close, just wrap it up.
Yeah.
And get this microcontroller world in there too.
Right.
And that, because fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you feel, a lot of the stuff that we see, a lot of people have migrated to Macs.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that the person who was in charge of the CDC drivers at Apple, it was like I think Paul from PGRC actually did manage to find the person and be like, hey, there's a bug in your CDC driver and it's actually
Yeah.
causing the teensy to not work
And they
quite
added
well.
it.
And they fixed it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So these are like the FTDI drivers and Silicon Labs chips
It's
and
not
stuff
the
like that? No,
FTDI
not serial
drivers.
order.
It's the lower level version of that.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
basically, yeah, it's the same thing, but it's the genericized version.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm
No,
working
I'm
on
not
it. I'm trying, but I got to
You
do
make
it.
it happen.
Yeah, I got to do
Believe
it
it.
too.
Like then Leonardo uses the CDC drivers. CDC does too. Flora does.
Right.
Next
that
up in
makes
the world
more
of
sense.
3D printing, if you go to your local Staples, there's cubes there.
Is there one in New York?
We're gonna check it out. So
Okay.
they're selling them for $12.99, as in $1,000.
You can just walk in and get
The
one.
cartridges are $50. People say it's a little high, but the printer itself is $12.99.
You could probably refill the cartridges.
Yeah, we'll say, but
Get it in any color of those
a
colors.
local Staples will have a 3D printer. What a cool time
That's
we're
cool.
living in.
How many people are you thinking will be walking out of Staples with those?
There's some people
Weird.
who actually want to be able to to go there and they see. I mean, like it's expensive.
I'm
You want to
thinking
see
you're
it.
buying online if you're buying a 3D printer. But that's just me.
But
You
if
might
it's the
wanna
same
walk
price,
in. You
why
might want
not?
to walk
Yeah,
in
you
and
wanna
actually
see it.
see it. Yeah.
All right.
You want to see it. Also, if there's a problem, you have somewhere to return it to.
Yeah, and they sell online, so yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't care.
All right. Next up, last thing in the world of 3D printing. So, makers out there, there is the Connect for Windows Dev Center. You can apparently apply for it, and you can get your next generation Connect Windows sensor. So, just a quick bit of history.
Do you think? Are we going to sign up? They're not going to give us one.
Well, so just a quick bit of history.
Come on,
We
guys.
reverse engineered the protocols on the Connect, There
We
was
helped.
some.
We helped. We were.
Yeah.
we were
Well, we
sure.
put the protocols up on GitHub.
Oh, the motor and the accelerometer. Yeah.
And we held a bounty, and Microsoft was doing some saber rattling, as they say it. Like basically, like lawsuit was being talked about, and when they did that, we raised the bounty again for these open source drivers, and then they didn't like that, and we raised the bounty again, and then eventually they thought, wow, okay, we should probably not comment about this, and after that, there was the drivers came out. We awarded it to a fellow named Hector, and thousands of projects came out, and an entire market happened. And the open source drivers are how most people were doing all the cool Connect art to make businesses. So then Microsoft started a business division, and one of their big keynotes at the end, they said, this is the future, people doing stuff. So now this time with this very high resolution one, they're like, okay, we have a dev program, you can apply for it, we really want you to do it. So we'll see what happens. I think this is an excellent first step, and makers out there should apply for it. And I kind of feel like we put a dent in a way that companies used to do business.
Yeah.
Now it's like, wow, we want that.
The approach from the get-go different.
I still have my $1,000 USB scanner, so yeah, if I get one of these new Connects, I'll dump it.
Yeah, we'll still.
I still have this
We're still going
USB.
to dump your protocols.
Yeah. I still have this great USB analyzer.
Yeah.
I haven't used it since.
Lady didn't have time to apply for a dev program. Lady's just going to post your protocols on GitHub. All right, next up, Pi Day.
Dev program.
All right, so Pi Day, one of the reasons that Colin is here this week is we got so many questions about the Pi Miner that I wanted you to just talk about it for a few minutes. So the Pi Miner is
this
what?
thing?
What
Here?
is the
Wow,
Pi
look at that
Miner?
logo.
Yeah, this is a new logo.
That
we got.
is a
So I have a
logo.
couple photos, but then we'll go to the overhead too. There's a couple
Okay.
photos, and this is, Bitcoin is in the news.
It happens to be there now
It
and
happens to
then,
be in the news. So
Get some
I'll go to
attention.
the overhead here.
And I'll turn on the light
So what
here.
is the
Yeah,
Pi Miner,
yeah.
Colin?
Sorry, hold on one second.
What are Bitcoins?
I have no idea. That's the weirdest thing.
No one does.
It's just this totally bizarre thing.
know what we want them.
The Bitcoins are what's called a cryptocurrency. It's a currency. Oh yeah, that's right. A currency which is based on cryptography, secret codes, secret money. More or less, it's a digital currency that is traded without a centralized server or bank, if you will. It's peer-to-peer currency. So, and it's more or less anonymous. I mean, mostly you could call it anonymous. And it's weird, I haven't explained this yet, can you tell? And what really intrigues me the most about it is the mining aspect. But did I explain the basic usage of it yet? You do not need a central. Yes, a public and a private key. But, yeah, so it's digital money that you can send to a friend without going through a middle person, and you can. It's almost instant. It'll go through, and it's basically all confirmed and recorded by a peer-to-peer network on the internet. And that peer-to-peer network of people recording transactions, we also call them miners.
Yeah.
MINERS.
And this isn't money being printed by a central government. It's being mined, finding like math puzzles, solutions to math puzzles.
Yeah, it's finding a hash that matches some pre-existing requirements that also incorporates previous information about transactions in the chain. So more or less what the miners are doing is taking information about transactions when Alice sent Bob, this many Bitcoins, every transaction that happened up to a certain point, and encrypting them in a hash, basically getting a hash from them, and then going on and from there making another block and another block of these transaction recordings. And every time they make a block, they get awarded Bitcoins. It's part of the process. It's basically a reward for doing this, for recording and confirming these transactions, and by that keeping the network secure. So they get currently it's 25 Bitcoins are awarded if you finish a whole block,
And what is
these.
25 Bitcoins worth right now?
Right now, I think last time I looked, they're about $90 each.
Okay, so
Right.
that's money.
I haven't checked in a few hours, but
Yeah.
that's $90 US each, and yeah, it is real money, and you can go to exchanges and really get that money for those things, those strings of text,
Gotcha.
more or less. When you get, the crazy thing is when you get into learning more about the system, there's just these interlocking parts that sort of where one problem shows up, another mechanic sort of covers for it, which is really interesting.
That's
The mining is really interesting in that way because again, you're recording transactions and you're earning like payment.
Yeah.
For it.
And so you
It's
made
strange.
you made a Raspberry Pi
Right,
Bitcoin miner.
Right. These little sticks are dedicated hardware that are designed to perform the hashing algorithm, the SHA-256 hashing algorithm, very efficiently and quickly. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and they are attached to a hub. Whoop, it's hiding out beneath the Raspberry Pi, which is then sported a stylish RGB LCD keypad kit. I could change the color there, I guess.
We have a full tutorial on this online, right, at the Learn system.
Yes, we do.
That's
it is
great.
up there.
I'm glad we do stuff like that.
It is ready for use. And basically you can see your current status with how fast you are hashing this information for the network. And you can page through and see how many devices you have attached, what your error rate is, and how long you've been mining for. And also the network difficulty, which determines how hard it is to actually mine some Bitcoins. It really factors into those requirements for that end hash you have to create. But I won't spin off too much in that direction. It's weird, yeah. It's kind of a Pandora's box of interesting things, the whole subject.
Yeah.
And,
This is the first time I've heard someone talk about all this, so that's why. And we kept getting emails about this after the tutorial came out and it made the rounds on the web. And we happened to be setting up lighting and sound, and I say, hey, it'd be good if you could come on and talk about this, and that way I can just send a link to this space, this spot. In the YouTube video,
right,
and say this is what it is.
It's a rush of different information and fun facts and stuff about it when I talk about it. So I don't know if that was terribly concise, but there are a lot of great places for what is a Bitcoin. A lot of very very nice starter spots.
This is like Colin Presents Bitcoin.
Yeah, I could do that. It takes a lot of preparation for me to make that totally concise.
It's
and
really
really
cool if you like
digestible.
hand did a hash on paper.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Bitcoin. Back in the 1800s, they were made out of wood. You had to cut down the tree.
Yeah, we just had these giant abacuses clacking away for hours at a time.
And it was only a special tree, and it took a very long time to get it.
Right. Could happen. Hey, get some retroactive history.
All right.
Going on.
Well, thank you, Colin, for the
Yes.
Bitcoin overview and live Bitcoin mining.
Right, and they're very hot, so be careful.
Yeah, you can fry a little tiny pheasant.
Yes,
egg
you
on
could.
there.
Pheasant egg.
Cute little
Aw,
pheasant egg.
I never
Tasty.
tried. Later.
All right. Okay, everyone. The code is NeoPixel. NeoPixel is the code if you want 10% off everything in the Adafruit store. All right. It's time. Lady Ada.
I want to swap spots.
It's new products.
Hot seat.
Okay, you're in the driver's seat.
Yes.
New products. Really fast, we have many amazing sizes of Raspberry Pi t-shirts
In black.
Adafruit Black.
Adafruit Black.
They're in the store. They're here.
I can just show this.
Show one real quick.
It's a t-shirt. It's
Sure.
in a nice bag.
Yeah, official. And proceeds
official.
go to the Raspberry Pi Foundation.
Yeah,
Please
this
support
is
them.
a really nice t-shirt. This is the ladies t-shirt, black medium. It's got this nice printing on it. It's black. This is sealed for your protection.
Yep.
And we have all sizes.
Okay. Next up.
Only in Adafruit Black, though.
We also have a ton of Raspberry Pis in stock, by the way. We're doing fantastic with the Pi supply right now, so 10% off tonight. It's a good deal.
Pi supply is good.
Next up, conductive. I'm going to try to.
Yeah, there you
show
go. That's a
this
good
nice
one.
photo. Yeah.
Actually, that photo's really good. So this is a conductive core ribbon. It's a woven nylon ribbon, not like polyester nylon ribbon. That's, it's a nice fabric ribbon, and I can show it on the overhead. It's just, your everyday kind of binding ribbon. And super flexible. And this one's kind of like it's got this thread. It normally doesn't have the thread coming off of it, but we kind of were taking apart this 4 silver conductive threads coming out of the top. They're kind of thick, and it makes it extremely flexible, but there's these 4 conductors. So this is really good for when you want to have like a data or power bus or something, and you want to use it in your wearable project, or even in a non-wearable project. And we have this in white, but now we have it in black for those of you who like an Adafruit Black.
Okay. We have this neat little pocket tool. This is kind of cool. These, everybody loves these, and when I saw them, I looked at all the reviews. They were on Cool Tools, and we said, gosh, we got to get these in because there's a fan following of these. So they're really sturdy, really elegant. Let me show it over the overhead. It has all sorts of tools in it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's this metal pocket tool. It comes with a protective sheath as well as like a plasticky. Actually, I thought it was leather, but it's actually a plastic color. And then plastic cover, and then there's a little guide saying like, what is all these things? Because there's like 12 different things. There's a ruler, there's a knife, there's a can opener, there's a bottle opener, there's a flathead screwdriver, there's a couple different hex wrenches, there's a guide. This I don't know. I think it's more hex wrenches. This is a keychain thing. What the heck is this slidey thing? 7. Butterfly wrench. I don't know what that is.
For butterflies.
For wrenching your butterflies.
Yeah.
A saw. So it's a pretty handy all-in-one tool, and it's made out of very thick stainless steel too.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly thick.
Made
So
in the
this
UK,
is.
I believe, and then also super sturdy.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure it's made in the UK, but it's a British design.
Yeah.
But it's quite well made, and yeah, it's nicely stained steel, and it's sharp as hell. So please watch out when you use this.
Okay, moving right along. I like this product. I gotta say, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, this I don't have an overhead demo for it.
LED
Matrix
IST.
backpacks. We have really nice 7-segment and Matrix backpacks. A lot of people are like, hey, I have my own Matrix, so I want to make a Matrix of LEDs. So this is a multiplex LED driver. It can drive 16 by 8 LEDs in a Matrix. So you'd have like a grid of LEDs, and you can turn them on and off. It's really good for 8x8 matrices or 16x8 matrices, 7-segment displays, anything where you want to just turn segments on and off, and you don't mind that they're multiplexed or they're
Popular
wired in
request.
multiplex.
People wanted these.
Yeah. So a lot of like 7-segment or 8x8 matrices are multiplex. So to use them, you have to have a special driver that handles multiplexed displays.
Yeah.
This driver does it. I don't have a demo for it, but check out any of our backpacks. That's basically what it does. This one is just very
Okay.
Redwood friendly.
Next up, so we have a coloring book, so we're always on the lookout for kind of the coolest way for kids to color and for it to be more than just boring kind of crummy markers. So this company makes these beautiful, well-designed markers that fit on top of each other that are rainbows.
Yeah.
And we're going to use this for another project coming up, a wearable color piano glove. It's going to happen. You're going to see it. It's going to be cool. But yeah, these are the cool markers that we got, and they're
Yeah.
really neat.
Yeah, they fit and they fit on your desk very nicely, and then they're highlighters, but they're also like markers.
Yeah.
Highlighters are basically markers that are just not as
Okay.
dark, and you can like do all sorts of weird stuff with them.
All right, moving right along. We're on a tight schedule here. This is the 16-channel 24-channel PWM driver. Whoa.
This is a 24-channel, 12-bit PWM driver.
I would have been happy with 16. And
This
you just roll
isn't
it in with
for
24.
this isn't necessarily for matrices, but it is for when you want to control a lot of LEDs individually. What I actually used it for originally, this is the demo one, is I was using it to control this 7-segment
Yeah.
green.
You can turn off the light for a second too if you want.
Yeah, maybe I'll.
Nope. There's a switch over there.
switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that really helped.
It helped briefly until the camera. adjusted.
Yeah, it's like self-adjusting, but you can sort of see the reflection. So it controls each one of these segments individually, which is really handy because this is not a multiplex display. It's actually a 21 LED, like all in a row. So this has 24 channels of PWM output at 12 bits. We have a driver for it. They're chainable. Uses SPI. It's made for like really big LED chains. So really handy if you want to drive a lot of LEDs.
Let me put a piece of paper over it real quick.
Oh, yeah.
See what happens.
Too much paper.
Yeah,
Too much paper. There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go. Okay.
So
Next
there you
up,
go.
we're gonna move
Colorful.
fast. Okay, these are the stars of the show. I saved the two best for lastest, as I say. All right,
Sticks.
the NeoPixel stick is here.
Stick. Pixel sticks. It's a stick. It's got 8 NeoPixels on it. They are as close as possible to each other, which we really liked, so that they're even closer to each other than the Flex Strip. The Flex Strip actually has to have some distance between them. This is, I think, I calculated it's like 150 LEDs per meter. If you were crazy enough to want to have a full meter of them, that's a lot of LEDs. So each one has 8 LEDs, and then on the back there's these surface mount pads that you can solder to. So, for example, I just soldered some header to it, or you can put them together and sort of join them. You can join as many as you want, as long as you can provide power. There's 2 ground pins, data that gets changed through, and then power 5 volts or 4 to 7 is probably fine. And then you can hold on. This is, there you go. You can stick it in, and it is glowing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll use that paper trick again.
It's hard to convey
There you go.
saturation.
Yeah.
Super bright. So they're really, really, really bright. And there's mounting holes, which are really handy.
Okay. Next up.
You can connect it up. Make something extremely bright. Maybe a precision vision stick or something would be good for it.
Yeah.
Next
Excellent.
up, and this is gonna blow your mind, folks. Tell the kids to come in. First time ever, live on Ask an Engineer, the NeoPixel Shield. This
Yes.
is the thing that we've been talking about.
It is bright.
This was the code. All right, let's blow up this web camera. Here it
Now I'm
is.
going to protect it with this
Yeah,
thing.
so here is the NeoPixel Shield. Yeah.
So it's, yeah, it doesn't like it. So it's a 5x8 matrix of those NeoPixel LEDs. So you only
you
need
can
one.
take the paper off. Let's just go have.
All right.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
Well, you can, yeah, it's not too bad. So it's just really, really bright. Each one is individually addressable. It has one pin quite nicely. We give you some stacking headers, but I like the plain headers as well. And then you can stack more next to each other by connecting this data out pin, which you can barely see because it's so bright, to the data in pin up here. So you can chain them and have like a huge row. And yeah, basically we packed as many as we could onto a shield while also sort of maintaining the squareness. I like that it's a perfect matrix, like square-wise. You can use the internal regulator, but it gets hot as heck. If you really want to drive a lot of these, I suggest using the external power. There's an external power connection here. And we include a terminal block, and like 4 AA batteries work really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of using Arduino power.
Yeah, you can, but it's like for the demo, because I don't have all the LEDs. The LEDs, there's only 1/3 of them on at a time.
Right.
So it's like barely within the limit of the fuse. Hold on.
Yeah. Play it safe.
There you go.
Or external.
For external, it's okay. USB ports, kind of barely. But yeah, I would suggest if you want to do stuff, I would power it externally.
Yeah.
But you know, cut the trace and do what you want. Super blinky. So yeah, we have a lot of NeoPixel stuff.
Yeah, and just to show these photos,
Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
It's really hard to take photos of stuff with LEDs, so this is pretty incredible to get the background and image at the same time. It's really harder than it looks.
Yeah. it
Really
seems-
hard.
What your eye sees is incredible color saturation. It just sees it. It just comes up as white on the camera.
Yeah,
usually.
most cameras aren't really good at this, but John Junior spent hours and really tweaked the hell out of these pixels to make them look this good.
Yeah.
That's why they look so good.
Okay, and that was new products lady data. Excellent
Yes.
work.
It is a stick.
That was new products.
Double
Okay.
stick.
All right, we're gonna do a lightning round. You can turn that light off over there. We're gonna do a lightning round of questions. Ask your questions,
Including Bitcoin miner questions.
Yeah, go. I'll get through these
Yeah.
as fast as we can. We're gonna do the show to 11:05 because we had a couple minute late start. And questions for Colin, questions for Lady Ada, questions.
I'm hypnotized. I can't answer any question.
Yeah, I know. The Blinky is okay. I'm curious about the FPGAs. What's a good project that you recommend to really use what FPGAs are for, yet simple enough for intro, medium difficulty?
Well, we have the
question.
what's it called? The FPGA board we have in the store. It's the DO Nano, and it's $100. It's actually like pretty good, and it comes with accelerometer, and it comes with a lot of projects. So I'd pick up one of those because it has everything you need. It comes with the programmer. It's like a nice little plastic case top thing, accelerometer, some RAM, a fairly good FPGA, a lot of breakout pins.
Cyclone.
That and it's an Altera,
Altera, yeah.
I think. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't exactly
anyway.
remember.
Someone can check the store and just search for
Check the
FPGA.
store.
Yeah.
It's the one item we have in the FPGA section.
Something you
Okay.
want to do really fast, right? Yeah.
Next up, is there an
Project.
Arduino IDE compatible microcontroller with a fast enough SPI to do smooth animations on an LCD using an Adafruit graphics library?
The graphics themselves are not, the graphics chips themselves are just not that fast. Something like a Dewey might be able to do smooth graphics, but the problem is just buffering them. It becomes very difficult. So Steph, if you want to really do like smooth animations and graphics, I'd get a Raspberry Pi actually and use the NTSC or HDMI out.
Okay. Are we going to stock 74HC 165s?
Not at this time. We're pretty happy, but we might add some more 74 logic later. Most people need extra outputs, not extra inputs.
Okay. Is EL wire waterproof?
It is weatherproof. I wouldn't run it underwater,
Okay.
like at a pool. It's not pool ready.
Is there some way to PWM fade the D7 LED on the Flora?
I think manually, I don't believe it has a PWM output, but I don't remember.
Okay. How long does it take to mine 1 Bitcoin with your setup, Colin? How long would it take?
With that setup, 4 of them, each one gets about 0.01 Bitcoin a day, basically. So that's times 4. So
0.04.
So it's 0.04 a day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got
Takes
a
a while.
You got a while to go.
Yeah, and a year or two ago would have been much faster.
Yeah.
But as more people mine, the harder it is.
Yeah. I just like that this is temporary hardware for a cryptocurrency. What a awesome
Yeah.
electronics are rarely collectibles.
Yeah, it's
Which
very
is kind of
strange
neat.
to me. It's
Yeah,
very unusual.
which is super cool. Next up, why are there caps for the NeoPixel shield on the top? Couldn't you put them on the bottom to fit more LEDs on the shield?
Well, our picking. Well, first off, there's also a limit of like how much current that you want to really push through it, and to make the design good, I wanted to have a really big ground plane on the bottom, and also power on the bottom, and then have the the capacitors and the LEDs on top. I also wanted to make the price reasonable. A pretty good compromise. We could do a double-sided design, but if we put twice as much, it would be twice as expensive. We thought, let's go for the price, the quantity of LEDs. You can do quite a lot with 40 LEDs.
Next,
And again, you can chain them.
are we going to make a Minecraft Pi tutorial? I don't know, maybe.
We might.
I thought of that.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Colin might do that.
I want to do something where you have the GPIO do something. It should be more than just playing
Yeah.
Minecraft. I want to
It's too bad Minecraft isn't actually a way to mine bitcoins. We just had people like build stuff and they get a coin or something.
I think I saw some crossover.
That would be really funny if it was like you actually had to like hit something with like an axe to like get
Yeah.
bitcoins, because actually that would probably get people in shape. Like
Yeah.
you get really
It
strong.
would. They would. You'd
Have
also
you
have
have you
injuries.
made any money from the Bitcoin machines that you've made so far?
Well, to tell you the truth, these miner sticks are actually quite pricey.
Yeah.
And so if you're saying have I made any money versus what I paid for them?
Yeah.
No, not yet. Not yet. That'll actually take
It's
a
like
while.
every hobby,
It could
though.
take a very long time.
It'll take a
Yeah.
couple months.
So
yeah.
it's not really for investors. This hardware
This
it's
is like
more for
hobbyist hardware,
hobbyists,
yeah.
and it is fun. So if there's actually returns,
It's kind of cool because
you're
you're
actually
like
getting income for something that's just fun. Then that's kind of
Yeah.
just double bonus to me.
I definitely never, my like sewing machine never popped out any kind of cryptocurrency, which is a downer. I mean, it popped
video
out
games
like
never
clothing.
paid me
but-
anything back after I bought them.
That's
so.
true. I mean, if it's this versus World of Warcraft, you're ahead.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay. Next up.
Also, you don't have to be in front of the computer to buy Bitcoins. You
Oh,
can
no,
like
it
set it
just
up
sits
and then
there.
leave.
You set it up.
So it's a hobby that goes while you're not even there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was
You'd be like,
clear.
I'm.
There's a
mining
request
Bitcoins.
for
Set it,
Colin
forget
to
it.
do a Colin's Lab on FPGAs.
That could be. I would like to learn more about them. I've only
Okay.
scratched. That's the surface I'm scratching,
Yeah.
and that could be
Yeah, we
interesting.
so Colin works on the Circuit Playground game that's coming out.
Yes.
And he also works on Circuit
looking
Playground,
forward to
the episodes. So we have A is for ampere, B is for battery. Next up is C is for capacitor. The staff here at Adafruit, we have open tryouts. And Tuesday, I'm going to be having folks try out. Cappy has kind of a traditional pirate-sounding voice, and we're going to have our staff do it. We actually want to have our team be all in all parts of the show, and we have a lot of puppets ahead. So if someone
there's a lot
can't,
to go.
if someone can't do the pirate voice, that's okay. There's 7 to 8 more characters.
Get in where you fit in.
Yeah, it's true. Next up, well, lots of things. Are we going to be accepting bitcoins anytime soon? Probably not. It's a little tough. You know, given the state of the exchanges and the regulations that may come in, it's just rough. There is an exchange that I think you could trade in your bitcoins, and there was a cash value, and they were buying some Adafruit gift certificates in like a secondary exchange. And so
right.
That's one way to do it, but
Yeah,
we're not accepting bitcoins.
There's a
It's
few
very
things,
it's hard enough for us to deal with American money.
yeah, you have to wait and see. Things change
Yeah.
over time.
Also, like, how do we set the pricing? It gets very
Yeah.
I've
complicated.
had a lot of people
Okay.
asking me.
So that was the lightning round. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Lady Ada.
Okay.
That was fantastic. That was your questions. Okay, next up, it's trivia question time. This is when we give away something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When we can't give away bitcoins,
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
we don't have any.
Yeah.
That's bright.
Instead of saying checks in the mail, you'd say
The bitcoin
coin is in the miner.
Coins in the network.
Yeah.
Coins in the pipe.
Okay, so Lady, what are the rules?
The rules are if you've won something from this fabulous Ask an Engineer contest already, you can't enter. So go mine some bitcoins or play World of Warcraft or something, but don't type anything into the chat.
It's like fly a kite.
And don't accidentally type something in and then say, oops, I already won something. Don't do that. The first person to type in the correct answer into the chat wins
it's
the
a
fabulous prize. Was it a NeoPixel Shield?
Yeah, we're going to give away a NeoPixel Shield.
You get a NeoPixel Shield.
But the question is, what is the name of the company and the chip of the LED Matrix controller breakout
that we talked about.
that we talked about? So all you have to do is
That
name
I
the company
didn't have a demo for.
and chip.
The name of the company and the part number.
Yeah.
It's not Colin. And Colin can't enter
It's
either.
not ARG, and it's not Satoshi Nakamoto.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah. You have a fan club, Colin. You're universally well liked.
Wow. I try.
Satoshi
Yeah.
Nakamoto, that's the guy who they think
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
Scurvy resistors, that's not correct. So you can also just go to the Adafruit product page, Adafruit.
It's one of the new products. It's our LED
Yeah,
Matrix
it's the name of the
breakout.
company and then the chip. So it's not Go Colin.
It's your birthday.
wish it was.
Go.
It encourages me to offer support.
I'm going to show the prize.
you one.
This is the prize. Someone's going to win this very soon.
that thing.
Okay. Kevin RS is to Holtex HT16K33.
That is
Congratulations.
correct.
You got it.
You are the winner.
You get the blinky.
Wow.
You get this thing. Hold on,
You
I
get
gotta
the
reset
blinky.
this.
Make it plain.
So Kevin RS, email support@adafruit.com, and we are going to send you one. Not this one. This is our
This
demo
one's
one. We're
assembled.
actually sending you a new one.
We'll send you another one.
There you go.
Okay.
No, not too bright.
Just put
Hold
it
on.
in your face and look amazed. I mean, that's
No,
pretty
it
much-
can't handle it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna turn off the other light real quick. Are you okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Even in
I'm
the
gonna-
reflection, it's still.
Yeah,
white.
I'm gonna turn off these lights just to see what happens because we're ending the show.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Let's see here.
Give it a
Something
power.
about saturation, true color, my friends,
does that
is
do
a beautiful
anything?
It
thing.
just makes it look like even crazier.
Okay, so look, here it is. All right.
Yeah,
so,
it looks white even though it's colorful.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
And
all the
you can
colors,
put
so
it
it
the
makes
color.
white, right?
Put it- Yeah, you can cut. You can see there's a rainbow coming out of it, and then maybe put it
It's
under
also hot.
the overhead real quick. Now that we have.
Yeah, we've got a lot of heat generating things over
Yeah,
here.
look
huh?
at
Yeah.
that. Look at that. That's beautiful.
It's not too hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
All
noticed.
right. With that being said,
It's also Pride Week, so this is kind of a Pride.
Yeah, right.
Pride NeoPixels.
Yeah. All right. That's it for tonight. That is Ask an Engineer.
Go
Thank
out
you.
and glow.
Thank you, everyone who was on the show and tell. Thank
We can
you.
like warm ourselves by the
Yeah.
fire
All
of this
the-
NeoPixel.
Yeah, and
staff
film the
who showed
miners
up. We have
too,
Phil
you
B,
can-
and
yeah.
Becky, and
Oh, no, I
George,
like
and, everyone. Thank you, all the customers, of course. that
Yes.
Keep us going. Don't forget the code is NeoPixel, 10% off everything in the Adafruit store.
Including, but not only,
Yeah,
NeoPixels.
get on that. We have a great show coming up, some new products coming up next week.
Yeah.
This is going to be a big week again. Awesome stuff.
Yes.
It's always a big week, man.
MOSFET, we're going to see him shortly.
He's doing just fine.
He's home, sleeping.
Don't worry about him.
He's okay.
He
He's
looks
okay.
like he's saying, "Don't worry, it's
Everything's cool.
Yep.
And here is your moment of Zener.
Hit it."